The Palm Bay Police Department claims no wrongdoing. An officer or a officer, man, Sean Rollins, a member of the community who's supposed to be doing a job, following laws like all the rest of us, decides he wants to jump out a cruiser and run right up to a random door after the door has closed and break in the house. The Palm Bay Police Department claims that there's no wrongdoing. Yet we have constitutional law, the Fourth Amendment, knock and announce rule. That's the Fourth Amendment, not just Florida law. Florida law was passed pursuant to federal law, which was passed pursuant to the Fourth Amendment and the things that were being addressed or were required to be addressed or they wanted to address. And so all of these federal and state knock and announce statutes that control what should have happened, they're based upon the Fourth Amendment, not just doing what you want to do to make an arrest. So let's look at what happened when somebody was supposed. We understand, I can understand, it may be a little hard to stop at that point, especially considering you just tried to steal the truck on the side of the road, but you won't get away with it. Let's look at you, Sean Rollins. Jump out police car, no information, and just run and kick a random door in the community open. This is a breach. This is a breach of the law that controls you. What do you mean, Palm Bay Police Department, there's no wrongdoing? Let's look at it.
274. I just called up to her at San Remo in Sanford. She pulled into a driveway. She advised she was under arrest when she pulled off. Nope, stop! Stop! Stop!
Wow. Now take note. Doors closed. Now, if you can't see, that's a foot kicking the door off the hinges. Blurring it out doesn't change anything. We can see that. I can see that. I'm sure everybody else can see he kicked the door in, kicked it right off the hinge. That's a Fourth Amendment violation. No announcement, no nothing. They don't get more blatant than that, but it hasn't been addressed. And in fact, Palm Bay act like they don't even know what laws look like. At this point, that's what it looks like. They don't follow laws, not the police department. Just do what they want to do. Get the door in. Let's look at some more. Let's go back and look again. And then we'll go back and see we won't even go into federal law. We'll just look at what the Florida law says about it after we look at this a few times.
Nope, stop! Stop! Stop!
Okay, so we see that Mr. Sean Rollins of Palm Bay Department pulled around in the house and jumps out his police cruiser, runs directly up to the house and kicks somebody's front door in. That's anybody's front door. That's my door. Nobody knows who front. He doesn't know whose front door. Who behind that front door have no clue. This is why there's a knock and announce rule. You had all of her information. The Fourth Amendment provides you with a warrant process, but you people don't like to follow the rules. It's easier to just do whatever you want to do, but you get caught.
This is Florida statutes, criminal procedure and corrections, search and inspection warrants. Chapter 933.09. Officer may break a open door, etc., to execute warrant. The officer may break open any outer door, inner door, or window of a house, or any part of a house or anything therein to execute the warrant, if after due notice of the officer's authority and purpose, he or she is refused admittance. If after due notice of officers, after. So let's go. And this is the other statute, 901.19, right of officer to break into building. Number one, if a peace officer fails to gain admittance after, can we read? After she or he has announced her or his authority and purpose in order to make an arrest either by a warrant, or this applies to Sean Rollins, Mr. Sean Rollins. This applies to you. This is the law. Or when authorized to make an arrest for a felony without a warrant, the officer may use all necessary and reasonable force to enter any building or property where the person to be arrested is or is reasonably believed to be. So if the officer fails to gain admittance after she or he has announced her or his authority and purpose, after you have announced your purpose, if nobody's let you in, then you can break stuff. And this law is clearly established. A million cases clearly saying what must be done. And what you did is clearly not that. It's clearly a violation. This is the Florida law. It's based off of federal law, which is based off of the Fourth Amendment. This is all a Fourth Amendment protection that regulates what you must have done, not kicked in that door at that, under those facts, under what was going on under those circumstances. You had all the information. You could have issued the warrant. You could have went and got the warrant. You don't want to do that. It's easier just to do whatever you want to do. And this violates the community.
So the law is clear here. There's a million cases on this. You had to have known not to kick that door in. But your department declares that you've done nothing wrong. Obviously, they don't look at statutes and codes and all these things only when they want to do something to the people.